You can stare at the greatness. All right, folks, we are live. We are live, man. We are live on the TD Report. We got my man, my main man from the Midwest, from the Dayton Flyers, the big city, Jody Coleman. Talk to us, Jody. Tell me what's up.
Hey, it's fabulous up here. We about 2 weeks away from the NFL season, and we have a decision in Cleveland. Deshaun Watson, uh, he's not playing for 11 games, and they're making the transition with the Browns, with Jacoby Brissett. They're not going to make the move to get Jimmy G. I think they're sold on the quarterback position. Cincinnati, as we well know, Burrows had his appendix taken out, but he will be ready for week one.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it was concerned that he could have missed a couple weeks, but right now they're saying he's not going to play in this last preseason game, but he'll be ready to rock on week one.
We are 2 weeks away from tonight.
Two
That's
weeks
when
from
the
tonight.
season start. 2 weeks from tonight, folks. Yeah, we are 2 weeks from tonight. Jody, kind of give us a little update on not only that, but maybe the rest of the division. What are you seeing in that division out there at the AFC North, folks? That's where Jody is. He's out in the heart. We see Pittsburgh and Baltimore here, but he has Cincinnati and Cleveland. Kind of tell us where you think things can fall now because of what just happened.
I don't think anything is really going to change, as far as even with the quarterback position. I'm not saying Deshaun Watson is that quarterback they're going to need in the playoffs. I think Cleveland has a good enough team to get to 5-6, 6-5 by the time the return of Deshaun Watson. But let's not make any mistakes that just because Deshaun Watson coming back, meaning that Cleveland's going to go undefeated. Like, there's going to be some struggle. There are going to be some hecklers out there that's not going to like it because his first game is against Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how loud that's going to be. It's going to be very disrespectful to things they're going to say about him. But I think he's going to be mentally tough. I think he's a mentally tough kid. I think he'll be ready to go. We'll be able to put those things behind him, not just for him, but for the lead as well, and apologizing to any woman that he may have affected or any woman that was affected with this ordeal. But Cleveland will be just fine. I think defensively, the D line is one of the better defensive lines in the league with Clowney and Myles Garrett. The secondary is one of the top 5 secondaries in the NFL. The running game is a top 2 or top 3 running game in the NFL, and the offensive line is a one and 3 top units in the NFL. In the addition of Amari Cooper, I think Cleveland will be just fine. And featuring more of Njoku and then featuring more of Harrison Bryant at the tight end position, going with the double tight end sets. I think they can win some games. They got a lot of favorable games early on in the season. Not saying that they're gimmies, so there's no gimmies in the NFL, but they have the Jets, the Carolina Panthers. They have the Pittsburgh Steelers early on a Thursday night, where we don't know what the quarterback is going to be. Is it going to be Mitch Trubisky or is it going to be Kenny Pickett? I'm leaning towards, in my heart of hearts, looking at preseason performance, looking at the command of the team. But Tony, I think Kenny Pickett is the guy for that job, man. What do you think?
Well, seeing as Pittsburgh never likes to jump the gun on anything. They're very well managed, and I don't know if they want to give that quarterback that much smoke right now. I think it's a reason why they got Trubisky. And maybe they sit him, what do y'all call it, a holding pattern for the quarterback? Obviously it is, because he's not going to beat out Pickett next year. And I think they're going to roll the dice and see what Trubisky does. If he starts out well, they know that they can go to him. See, I don't think they want to throw to Pickett out there and he starts off bad and then now he can lose confidence.
Well, see, I understand what you said, but Mr. Trubisky is both of those guys are relatively similar in age because everybody know Kenny Pickett's 24 years old. So it's not like he's a spring chicken. Hey, there we go. There we go. There you go. There he is.
What's up, fellas?
What's happening?
What's going on, man?
When we talked about Kenny Pickett or Mr. Trubisky at the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I was alluding over to Tony that I believe that Kenny Pickett is one of those guys that you might want to go with now because of his age. He's 24 years of age, as well as Mr. Trubisky is about 26, maybe, I believe. So they're similar in age. So I think both of their psyches are pretty fragile because if you got Mr. Trubisky in there and he starts off and he does well, then can you pull him out the starting lineup? He would only be 26 or 27 for Kenny Pickett, or you just roll with Kenny Pickett. If Kenny Pickett doesn't work, you go with Mitch Trubisky, and then you start over at quarterback all the way together. It's a lot of good quarterbacks in the draft, so I think Kenny Pickett should be the guy start week 1 and to lead Pittsburgh into the future.
You asking me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's on you.
It's a lot, Mike. I've been, following Mike Tomlin since they drafted Pickett, and he made a point during the pivots. The pivot interviewed him in the studio, but then they also came to the Pittsburgh Steelers training camp like maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, in the training camp tour. So the first time he talked, he said, we're gonna bring him along, but we didn't draft him 20th to hold a clipboard.
Right.
Then he also said, but we do have 2 veterans.
Mm-hmm.
And he said we had 3. God rest Dwayne, so he did make sure he threw Dwayne Haskins. And he said we had 3 that we felt we could have played until he was ready. But he said if he's better than those 2, he's gonna play. And he said, the blessing that I have, this is what he said when they came to the training camp. He said, the blessing that I have is Mitchell Trubisky's never had the weapons that he's got here in any offense he's played in. Then he said the biggest that would allow Kenny Pickett to start right away is Najee Harris. Because now you have a guy that you can turn around and hand it to 25 times a game, where if he gets going, then it makes the reads easier, because now it's a one read thing because they're going to load the box. So now you got one-on-one, which is what Pickett has been seeing a lot of in the preseason, where the guys are, he's getting the ball behind the linebackers at will because they're so worried about the run game. They're coming up trying to stop the run game, and he's picking that pass to Fryer move last week on the money before he even came out the break. You can't teach that. That's a time and throw. That's a 1-2 step drop, boom, out your hand. So, me personally, I don't think Trubisky does anything great. So, for me, I think Pickett's got thick skin. He's born and raised in New Jersey. He played at Pitt. I mean, I don't think he's going to fail. I think Malik Willis is more talented, but I think Kenny Pickett is more prepared to play right now. So, if I'm the Steelers going into the season, I look at the rest of my division and I go, okay, Watson's not here. But if he was here, it'd be Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and Deshaun Watson. Can Trubisky compete with them guys? Probably not. So that's why I'm going to probably lean Kenny Pickett myself.
And see, Tony, that's what I was just alluding to. I said that Kenny Pickett gives them an opportunity to win now because, in this league, we got to score a lot of points. And Mr. Trubisky struggled with scoring a lot of points. And I understand what Dev said about in Chicago. He didn't have the weapons that he has in Pittsburgh. But going back to what Dev said on that throw to Fireman, if I say his name correctly, they blitzed, and actually the Pittsburgh Steelers didn't pick up the blitz correctly. Remember, they went and blocked one person and let that linebacker come loose. But he made a second window throw, which is that's an Aaron Rodgers type of throw that he made. So Kenny Pickett got a little bit of moxie, man. So what do you think, Tony?
Well, like I said, I'm going to lean always on long term when it comes to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is one of those organizations where they're always playing chess, and I think that they don't think that they're going to win the division this year, so that they need to prepare these young guys for the battle that's going to be coming the next 3-4 years. When you think about Freiermuth is going to be under contract, you're going to have Pickett under contract, Najee Harris still on a rookie deal. I mean, when you start having some of your big guys on offense. Now, their defense is what's going to carry them. Their defense and Najee Harris is what's going to carry Pittsburgh and what's going to keep them competitive this year. And I just think that they're an organization who always thinking long term. Think about it. They just had Haskins, first-round draft pick. They picked up your boy Trubisky, first-round draft pick. Even if they would have drafted Pickett. I mean, look at what they had to go with. I mean, your boy Mason Rudolph was just there just to hold the clipboard. But that's what Pittsburgh could have had 3 first-round draft pick quarterbacks on their team, and it only cost them 1 first round. That's value.
You know,
That's
you make
value right there.
you make a good point. So I say Pickett just because I believe, in their division now with Deshaun Watson down and the Ravens can play defense, but do the Ravens score a lot? No, they're not a great offense. They are, and Jackson, we don't know what's going to happen with his contract. If he doesn't sign one, how will he play? Will he play? We don't know what's going to happen. The Bengals are the only constant right now that we know about in that division based on what we saw last year. They have everything back. Their quarterback is coming off a Super Bowl run in his second year. They upgrade the O-line. They upgrade their defense. Jesse Bates showed up. That's a big sign. And to a man, the Bengals might have the best trio of receivers in the league. When those three guys are going, they're tough to stop. And they have a great running back. Joe Mixon's very good out of that backfield.
Let me tell you something that's working against the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, so everybody knows there's been 56 Super Bowls played. Only 8 teams have gone back after losing the Super Bowl. That's
Buffalo did it like 4 times, so they count for one. Do Buffalo count for like 4 of those?
So basically, you know how hard it is. It's been Buffalo, Tom Brady, Roger Staubach. It's been people like that who's gone back. Other than that, It's hard to go back as a Super Bowl loser, not Super Bowl winner. Now, they call it the Super Bowl loser curse. And it so happens that the Bengals are coming back now, and now they are going to be the 100. And everybody knows when they play Cincinnati now. It changes the way you look. Now, as we speak, I'm going to flip it over to what I think is the best division in football, which is the AFC West. You got a team coming on tonight in the AFC West. Kansas City's about to kick off against Green Bay here in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and I won't say it on this show, I think that is the most underrated big-time team out there. Everybody's sleeping on Kansas City because it's not a favorable pick, even myself, because I picked the damn Chargers. But I am afraid of them because, see, I see it now that everybody's counting them out. And see, Rudy Tom Johnson said, what did he say? Never
underestimate the heart of a champion.
Heart of a champion.
Never.
And that's what I think everybody's been doing because we've been doing all this talking and all that other stuff.
Not me. I've been the main one yelling Chiefs. I've been the main one. I've been the main one. I kept telling people the pieces that they added off of losing one guy has given them that. And like I said, another thing that's going to help the Chiefs is guys like Hill and Watkins taking shots at Mahomes, like saying that, the guys they're playing with are better. And I'm like, y'all went to a Super Bowl and won with this guy, didn't y'all? In his second year of quarterbacking, didn't you win a Super Bowl? And you went to 4 AFC championships. Well, yeah.
Third year.
4.
No, it was a third year quarterback.
It was his third year of quarterback.
Second year starting, though. He didn't start his first year. He didn't play at all. He just came in. So
you think about it. If it was no Tom Brady, he would have 3 Super Bowls in a row.
And we got to always also understand that he's not lost an AFC championship game in regulation yet either.
No, they both been overtime at home. Yeah, he hasn't played an AFC championship game away from home either. They've all been at home.
But you know what, Tony? Me and Deb been on the same way. I think Mahomes gonna win MVP.
Me too.
So that's how I feel. But we talking about we talking about the AFC West. Can I jump in here? And I want to talk about a team that I think we're overhyping. I think we're overhyping the LA Chargers. The LA Chargers are completely overhyped. Let me tell you why. Because we're giving all this credit to Justin Herbert, who has not done anything as of yet. He looks great in the pocket. He looks outstanding in the pocket. He looks the part. You want to look up quarterback in the book. In the encyclopedia, you will see a guy built like Joe Herbert. But what has he done, Tony? Has he been to the playoffs yet? Has he won a playoff game yet? Has he even had more than 10 wins yet?
No.
So what are we doing? He can't say that he doesn't have a team because he has 2 premier wide receivers. Keenan Allen and Mike Williams are premier wide receivers in this league. They complement one another. The offensive line is very solid. Adding Slater last year made them even better.
2 additions.
What's that? Defensively?
2 additions. Mack and Jackson.
I get that, but offensively, they had opportunities to win games on the offensive side of the ball. They didn't seize the opportunity last year playing the Vegas Raiders. He didn't come through when he needed to. We can't say what it could have. He had to go with what he actually is going to do. And we can't say, because if we're in a microwave society, he has to win now. You can't put up, we keep putting him in top 10 quarterbacks and top 5 quarterbacks. This man has yet to even reach the playoff. Even Baker Mayfield that made the playoffs. And he won on the road. So I'm gonna go on a limb, and I understand the AFC West is loaded and you added people. But Dev, you can take it from here because I can see your mind going.
Nah, you cool. I'm listening.
No, I'm saying like I'm just saying that.
I think Herbert, man. I
think we lost.
No, you didn't. I'm in.
I'm very impressed with his skill set. There's no doubt about that. 69 touchdowns in 2 years. That's the most ever for a guy in his first 2 years. You're not gonna take anything from him. I mean, but it's been some real ugly situations in there. You take away, go back to last season, the Cowboy game. He stunk. He made a couple throws. Even the Commanders game, he threw 3 picks. They won the game because the Commanders gave him back. You know what I'm saying? He was not good in that game. Then the loss at was it at Jacksonville? Who they lose to when they lost to a bad team? Jacksonville. He stunk it up down there. And then one thing about him, I don't think they use Austin Eckler enough. I think they get too pass happy trying to push the ball down the field because of his ability to really do it. And Eckler, if you look at the total yards, top 3 or 4 in the league the last 4 years in total yards when you look at a guy that can run and receive. And he's like a Darren Sproles reincarnated, but a little more explosive. You know what I'm saying? Darren Sproles. Sproles was explosive, but he was kind of shifty. This guy got straight line speed, can really run. And they don't use him enough. I think they try to push the ball downfield too much. And I get the big arm and I get all the intangibles that Herbert brings, but I agree. He's got to get to the playoffs and win. He got to at least get there, you know. And to his credit, this is his 3rd year. Baker Mayfield made it his 3rd year for the first time too, didn't he? 2020 was his 3rd year.
He did.
So, and that was Mayfield's 2nd year really being the full-time starter. He got the job early, like middle of his first year, I think, or 4 or 5 games in. Game 3
against
Thursday Night Football, something like that.
Trust me, I know. Night. We hadn't won a game in 2 years.
You know, so I'm gonna say I think like Tony said, I think they're super talented. But me and you talk about this, Jody. I gotta see how they hold up in the middle.
Right.
Because the middle of their defense is really soft and pudgy. They get moved around really easily in there. And we'll never get to see the greatness of Kenneth Murray if they don't get a guy in there that can keep blockers off of him. If you can keep blockers off of him, he'll be the league's leading tackler with along with Shaq Leonard and them kind of guys. He'd be Roquan Smith. We'd be talking about him in that manner because the dude is unbelievable. But you can't. It's hard to do that when you got 200, 325-pound linemen getting their hands on you every play.
Hey, fellas, let me say I'm sorry. We started off the show. I should have said rest in peace, Lynn Dawson.
Yes.
MVP for the Kansas City Chiefs. A Hall of Famer. The guy was just a great. It was the last AFC, AFL, NFL game, and when they played the Super Bowl. Rest in peace, buddy. I mean, he's at 87. I mean, he had a nice career, nice life. A lot of people know him from NFL, inside the NFL. What you know with who was he with then? Bonaconte.
Yeah.
And he was
Nick Bonaconte. Yeah. Yep.
So you know, I want to say rest in peace. I mean, Jody and I was just at the Hall of Fame, and you know, to see a guy go down, you know, rest in peace, man. We need to make sure that we honor those guys that came before and made this game great. He played in the last game before the official merger. The last Super Bowl was Super Bowl 4 before the merger. He was the winner and he was the MVP. Rest in peace, Lynn.
Rest in peace, most definitely. Yeah. But I just going back to what Dev has said. I think the pick that the Chargers are going to regret is not getting Jordan Davis in that middle. That if they would have got, I think, especially what Jordan Davis has been doing in camp, I think that Jordan Davis pick would have been perfect for the Chargers, and they didn't go. They had already solidified a pick on the offensive line the year before with Slater, and he's an All-Pro. If they would have got Jordan Davis defensively, if you look, and they haven't paid Herbert yet, right?
Mm-mm.
They haven't paid him yet.
Nope,
So
not yet.
they needed that pick because they're gonna. This is what Tony always talks about, is getting Super Bowls in their first quarterback's contract before that contract come up, because when that contract come up, you can't sign other players.
Nope.
So I think if you would have got Jordan Davis, not taken away from anybody that they drafted, but I think Jordan Davis personally should have been the top 8 pick in the draft. But I mean, whatever. But I just want to see Justin Herbert actually perform when he needs to. I've seen him get in shootouts, but you can't. Joe Burrow, and did Tua go to the playoffs, or he won? But he did have a winning record.
Nah, they didn't make it. They had a winning record. He didn't make it though.
They had a winning record, but
winning record.
Tua has more wins in a season than Justin Herbert too. So I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just throwing it out there.
Dolphins have had winning records the last 2 years and missed it both times. They've had winning records both years.
Absolutely.
So they're very close to being a solid team. Something's not right there even. I don't know if the whole Mike McDaniel thing is going to fix that either. But whatever.
Well,
I don't know.
Guys, this offseason has been a lot of talk, and from my experiences, every time they put teams way up and they get the hype, it never pans out. Buffalo Bills have got more hype in the offseason than I've seen in the last 15 years. Everybody is crowning those guys as champions. You guys tell me, what do you really think about Buffalo? Don't hold back. Let me hear it.
Go ahead, Dave. You can take it.
I like them. I think they're super. I think they have everything you need. I think the one area that still worries me with them is third down pass rush. And I know Von Miller was signed to fix that and bring that up. Greg Rousseau, the kid from Iowa. I forgot his last name. I don't know how you say his name. He's pretty good too. So those two, him and Rousseau and the guy from Iowa, are supposed to be getting, be under the wing of Von Miller. Now Von Miller still shows you he can really play. But is Von Miller really as good as he looked with Aaron Donald and Leonard Floyd causing as much havoc as they did, and then Jalen Ramsey taking away a whole side of the field? It kind of allows you an extra second and a half or two that you're not going to get in most places to get home. So if you look at Von Miller on film, he got home, but a lot of his sacks came because quarterbacks had nowhere to go with the ball, and he just happened to be hustling and making plays. They weren't straight running by you like the Von Miller of old and winning right off the edge. So that's the Bills' biggest issue. Winning, getting Patrick Mahomes on the ground or speeding him up with 2 minutes to go and him driving the football. That's the big thing, 3rd and 7. Can they get to Joe Burrow? Can they get to Lamar Jackson? Can they get to Deshaun Watson when he gets back? Can they get home? If they can get home in that situation, they'll be around against everybody because they're going to score points, and their quarterback is elite. He's freaking elite. The throw he made last week where he spun around, and that dart Gabriel Davis had no room. That ball was only where he could catch it. You can't teach that. But I agree, Tony. Until we see them do it, we don't know if they can do it.
Jody?
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say it like this, man. Buffalo is the real deal, Tony, man. And I think they have the luxury of being in the AFC East, where I still think teams are really trying to figure it out over there. If you look at that division, you always go by who's the best quarterback in that division, and it's Josh Allen by a landslide in that division. There's not anybody even close to Josh Allen's talent or productivity. And let's not forget, last season when they played Kansas City, they were without Trey White, who is a premier cornerback. He was not in uniform. He was hurt. He's back. The Buffalo Bills will help. Their secondary will help Von Miller, because I think they have the best secondary, or one of the best, second best secondary in the NFL, because they will have. We're not talking about their safety. They got the 2 best safety combinations in the league. There's no other team that has 2 All-Pro safeties on their roster. Not to mention
Poyer and High can bowl. They can bowl. They can bowl.
Those guys won't make the Pro Bowl, but they'll make All-Pro. Weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Ain't that weird?
I'm like, how did that happen? And then
That's weird.
We know that Trey White is the top 5 corner in his league, and then they got a kid named Damon Jackson that we need to start paying attention to. So Von Miller will give them, if they resting properly. But my Achilles heel on Buffalo is I'm a guy between the trenches, the D tackles. I'm really not sold on Oliver. I thought Oliver was going to be a bigger name coming out of Houston, and he hasn't produced to the level that I thought he was going to be. Now, I've seen teams able to move the ball in close games like Jacksonville. And can they go to Pittsburgh on a cold Pittsburgh day and stop Najee Harris? Can they stop Cleveland with a Nick Chubb? Can they stop Jonathan Taylor in their own? That Jonathan Taylor is a guy that I know he play on turf, but can they stop him? So, hey, Tony, Buffalo is definitely the real deal. And like I think Dev has said this earlier on his post, they're recruiting OBJ as well as they were trying to get Joe Hayden. So
I talked to Joe Hayden the other day, so that is some truth to that.
Oh,
that's the real truth to that.
It's discount check night. Rogers! State Farm discount double check.
So
yeah,
I'm looking at the quarterbacks warming up here. It looks like we may get a little bit of Mahomes and a little bit of Rodgers tonight. See, folks, when we had 4 preseason games, we would know that this game used to be the dress rehearsal.
right?
And this week's game would be for everybody else, the people that were like me, getting a cup of coffee trying to make the team.
Yep.
But we don't know. I don't think these NFL teams have figured out how they're going to run their schedule. I've never seen it this unorganized. I don't know who's dress rehearsal and who's not. I mean, so it's kind of hard to really get to work. But what I have seen is a lot more double practices with 2 teams coming in and getting some work. So I think that they're probably getting into it and finding a way to get their starters some work without the physical contact like they used to have. And the NFL, they're going to work it out. I mean, you got 2 teams that always have 4 games because of the Hall of Fame, but most of them, they only got 3 games. And 3 games back in the day, you guys weren't even watching it. They used to have 6 preseason games.
I was watching it.
6 preseason games, 14
lot,
regular
man.
So yeah, it used to be, dude. Everything was always in 20. So now we at 17 regular season, 3 preseason. It used to be 14 regular season, 6 preseason. Then for all the years from 1978, from the year Dev was born, it was 16 regular season and 4 preseason.
Right.
And as of last year was the first year they changed it since you were born in 78. That is the first year that they have changed it. So,
wow,
pretty soon we're probably going to go 18 regular season and 2 preseason.
yeah.
And what will happen is what they're going to do is get a lot more work. So if I got Oakland versus Dallas, I got the Raiders versus the Cowboys one week doing these practices, I'm probably going to go with 2 or 3 more teams that I know I'm not playing to get some work in training camp, because that's where you get your real work from. Sitting here getting ready for this game, I mean, we already talked about Kansas City. Guys, I'm going to be gambling on some of these games, and I am telling you right now, Aaron Rodgers does not know how to play chess. He only knows how to play Connect Four, because him bitching about if I'm coming back or not all the time. Adams got pissed off about that. He rolled out. You lose Valdez Scanlon, you lose him. People getting tired of that BS. And now you crying and complaining, talking about you ain't got no receivers. Talk to me, Jody. Tell me.
He's the ultimate diva, man. I mean, we talk about wide receivers and Terrell Owens and OBJ and guys like that. But the ultimate diva is Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, if he has not won a Super Bowl in the last 4 to 5 seasons, it's probably his own fault. And Dev, you're a quarterback guru. You will see how important it is for your leader to be on board. And Aaron, you're right, Tony. He's not been on board. He's been worried about a contract. He's been worried about his receivers. He's been worried about this and worried about being disrespected and worried about if they drafted a quarterback. Guess what they did when you came into the league? They had a guy named Brett Favre that was the starter, and they still drafted you in the first round. So why are you going to be surprised that they drafted Jordan Love in the first round? They have to protect their investment. If you look at any organization, they really have only had 3 quarterbacks in their whole organization that even meant something for a duration of so many years. We go back to Barstow. It went from Barstow. They had a few down years, and they get Brett Favre long term. Then they get Aaron Rodgers. We know they had Don Majkowski and Kemp and all those guys.
Yeah.
But we know they really only had 3 quarterbacks, and it's a reason for that because they, like you said, the Pittsburgh Steelers play chess the same way the Green Bay Packers do. And Aaron Rodgers is making it about him, and he's living off that one Super Bowl that he won. He's living up because he's had tremendous teams, and he has had the ability to be in the NFC North where he's dominated. Only team that Bears might have showed up a year or two. The Vikings may have showed up. Detroit ain't showed up none. But anyway, the point of the matter is we know that they're going to dominate. We know that they got 6 wins right now in their pocket. Damn, Tony, they got 6 wins in their pocket already. We already know that Green Bay will host a playoff game. I'll put it in the bank. I'm sounding like Stephen A. Smith. Sorry. Put it in the bank right now. They got a playoff home game right now. If you want tickets, Green Bay fans, if you want tickets, go ahead and get it because they got it. Because they're going to win that division going away. So with that being said, Aaron Rodgers putting his receivers on blast. And the bad thing about it, if any of those receivers go against him, they won't even be on the team next year.
Man, he's something, man.
And they got a tremendous defense led by Kenny Clark and Alexander, and they got some premier safeties with Savage. I think they got the best secondary, a little bit better than Buffalo. If Aaron Rodgers don't win, it's his own fault, Tony. Go ahead, Dave.
They got the most underrated middle linebacker in the league in Devondre Campbell.
Well, he did just make All-Pro. He made All-Pro.
He's a problem. Still don't get the love though. Still don't get the love that you hear of the other really good middle linebackers. He's in that upper echelon, and he doesn't get the love. But I don't know what Aaron Rodgers is doing. Don't forget, when the season ended, he didn't know what he wanted to do. Every week he was coming on the Pat McAfee show telling people he was going to make a decision. And when the week would come, he wouldn't do it. Then finally he gets the $50 million a year. And reportedly the Packers offered Devontae Adams more money to stay, but he was tired of all the games. The Packers did offer him more than the Raiders. They did. But he told them, I want to go home, and I just want to be somewhere where I know pretty much the quarterback is going to be here. You know, I love Aaron Rodgers, but this up and down stuff playing with, because don't forget, he felt like Aaron Rodgers did him wrong. Because I don't know if y'all remember when he said, they asked him what was going to happen with Aaron Rodgers before 2020. He made the comment that if Rodgers wasn't there, he wouldn't know where he was going to be. So he basically had made it like a partnership. I don't think he felt like Rodgers gave him the same love in his own little way. He didn't feel like Rodgers said, when Rodgers was holding out for that money, don't forget you holding out for your money, he can't get his money till you get yours. They got to pay you first. So go ahead and get yours, get out the way so he can get his. So I think a lot of that is what caused him to probably want out. Personally, I don't know what the whole plan is, calling out the receivers. I mean, the Randall Cobbs, the Sammy Watkins, the Lazards, they can all handle that. They've been around, so they know what to expect. They vets. But the Christian Watsons and the Torres and these guys that are showing pretty good. You know, Watson's been hurt, but that kid, Torre, I believe it is, or something, he's got some talent. 7th round pick, he can play.
Number 87. Yeah, he's solid. Very solid.
Yeah, he can play. And I think you just need to give him time. You got Tunyon back. You got a two-headed monster at running back. The key to their whole team is going to be is David Bakhtiari healthy or not. That's the key.
If he's off the pub list.
If he's healthy, you know that he can dominate one side of the field. He's a great run blocker and a pass blocker. He's probably the top 3 or 4 left tackles in the league when he's healthy. But he's always hurt. He's always hurt. So the key will be, like you said, they're going to win 5 or 6 games in their division. Then they're hard to win. They're hard to beat at Lambeau. So they're going to win 8, 9 home games. They're going to win 7 or 8 of them. They're not going to lose at home much. So you can book them for an 11, 12 win season just because of the division they play in and they got a great home field advantage. But again, in the playoffs, do I trust them to beat a Tampa or Rams? if they get him in Green Bay, I don't even trust them there because they've been losing at home in the playoffs a lot now. They didn't used to do that. They lose at home a lot in the playoffs now.
They lost to Jimmy G twice.
Yeah, Jimmy G twice, and they lost to Tom Brady came in there and got him. They lost to Michael Vick in there with Brett Favre still the quarterback. They've lost some
Eli
games.
Manning got him.
Eli Manning got him in there. Did he get him twice?
No, because they beat the 49ers the other time. So
beat the 49ers. You're right. Okay, and so for me, and then they say Rodgers sits by himself at lunch to see who wants to sit by him so they can see how he act. I mean, just the stuff he does that to. He's just that kind of guy, man. He's just a weirdo, man. He's a weirdo, and it's not funny.
Let me put numbers for you. This is the 31st season in a row that the Green Bay Packers have had Hall of Fame play at the quarterback position and only 2 Super Bowls to show for it.
2
Super wins. 31 straight seasons with Hall of Fame play at quarterback. To me, that's probably a record that probably won't be broken.
That's an outstanding stat because you got to think about the other Pro Bowl position they done had. They done had the Ahman Greens at running back. They done had the Dorsey Levens at running back. They done had the Devontae Adams at wide receiver.
Reggie White.
The Reggie Whites, the Leroy Butlers. This team has not been without talent.
They had Clay Matthews.
Oh, Clay Matthews, 6-time Pro Bowler, 7-time.
But
7-time.
We say that, but it's still double the rest of the division because there's only one other Super Bowl that whole division, the Bears. So they haven't won but 2, but it's still more than their division combined. That goes to show you how bad that division is. It shows you how bad it is. The Bears still don't have a 4,000-yard passing in the history of their franchise. The only team in NFL history without that.
And the sad thing about it, I don't think Justin Fields is that guy. I think he's a guy that can give you 3,500 and he's going to rush for about 600 or 700. But I don't see him being a 4,000-yard passer either.
Hey, did you guys get a chance to catch the fight today? The Super Bowl rematch. The Bengals and Rams get to go in today, so you guys can understand. Bengals and the Rams doing a joint practice, and it looked like LA's defense
was dominating them.
And they got to throw on pause, and the guy from Dallas, Lyle Collins, that's the tackle now for the Bengals, got a little frisky, and it looked like somebody's head came out when your boy grabbed that helmet. Aaron Donald. I mean, dude, he got paid all that money. It looked like, hey, man, it looked like he's trying to fight. But you know what? To me, I'm going to say this on this show now. The Rams are going to be the most overrated champion over the last 10 years. I don't think they're going to do much because, see, here's what you're not looking at in that division. Other than Seattle, Arizona going to be a problem. And the 49ers are definitely going to be a problem now that they got their quarterback that they want. They're going to be a real problem. And I think the Rams are going to take a step back because, see, I call it the Dallas Cowboy effect. No matter how good Dallas is, everybody always know what the Dallas game is. You know when that is. Now, when you're Super Bowl champion, that thing is marked on the schedule, dog. Your game is marked on the schedule. Are the Rams built like that to come each week after week after week after week of facing your best? I don't think they built like that, folks. And seeing Deb made a point. Who led the league in interceptions?
There
you go. If he does that again, their ass is going to be 8-9, 9-8, outside looking for that damn playoff.
I can't buy that, Tony. I can't go with that. I think that the Rams are going to be a team. The team that's going to be overrated is the Arizona Cardinals. I believe Arizona is the team that's going to take that step back because
they're under the radar.
But I'm saying, far as you lose Christian Kirk, I know he wasn't a huge weapon, but he had nearly 900 yards. Well, he had over 900 yards receiving. You don't have D-Hop for 6 games. I already thought they had a suspect running game. Then they lose Edmund to the Miami Dolphins.
We got Dundalk Brown.
Who?
Dundalk Brown. Hollywood.
Who? You talking about the guy that couldn't even catch a cold? Are you talking about that guy? The guy that had a problem catching the cold?
But
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you what's gonna make the Cardinals. They're really not under the radar because of the Kyler Murray thing. He kind of put them on the radar. His contract made them more of a target now. The way he acted, the way his agent acted, the way him and Cliff Kingsbury have had it out where he don't like some of the play calls and rolls his eyes and walks away. And Kingsbury said, "You think you can do this shit? Do it." So now you see him holding the play sheet during the preseason stuff. Like, what is this sideshow over there? What the hell is this, man? So they're on the radar, man. They're not under the radar like they probably want to be because. And I agree with Jody. I think the Rams. I just think when you add Bobby Wagner, you really can't get any worse. I mean, I don't think you can get any worse. The biggest fear for the Rams is that those two running backs have soft tissue injuries all year and be in and out of the lineup. Because if they can run the ball with Akers and Henderson, it opens up Matthew Stafford in the play action and all the quick stuff that Sean McVay want to run. And that offense becomes even better. Because don't forget, they didn't have a lot of running. Their running backs were hurt a lot last year, and they had to make do, and they still won the Super Bowl. You give them a full arsenal of weaponry on offense and that defense, that team is going to be hard to beat in a one-game setting for anybody.
So, Tony, you done got me going now, man. You done got me going, Tony. Deb, y'all done got me going. This is the thing. Going to Arizona real quick. Arizona cannot replace Chandler Jones' productivity. That's another reason why Arizona's going to take it. You can't. That productivity that Chandler Jones brought, who is going to replace that? It ain't going to be J.J. Watt.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, they trying to move J.J. Watt into the middle to the D tackle position because he can't do what he used to do. And he's getting older. He can't do what he used to do. That's another reason why Arizona will take a step back. Chandler Jones is a huge part of what they did defensively. So going to the Rams and what Dad said, what he didn't mention, though, was Allen Robinson in the camp that Allen Robinson had. They actually got an upgrade at that other wide receiver position with the Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson is just as good in camp as they had with Robert Woods and with OBJ. Now, he's not as good as Cooper Kupp, but Allen Robinson is going to – we forget, and I see Tony's face. Look at his face there. Look at his face. Allen Robinson is a guy that can get you 80 catches for 1,200 yards. And with Matthew Stafford at quarterback, when has Allen Robinson really had a quarterback like Matthew Stafford?
Never. He played in Jacksonville and in Chicago, places where players go to die. I mean,
right.
Yeah. Nope.
He's going to be a Jesse this year
because he's special.
That money.
But think about it. They got warm weather in L.A., and you got a quarterback that's a slinger because they're going to double. They're going to show if they don't, Cooper Kupp is going to repeat what he did last year. If they don't double and triple, he better start getting the Calvin Johnson effect because if not, he's going to do it all over again. And if they do that, Allen Robinson going to get a lot of one-on-one. I think he can still beat guys one-on-one. And I think even at the running back position, I think they still can pick up somebody and then the Bobby Wagner effect.
So let me give it to you guys. 2 weeks from tonight, around this time, they're going to kick off the NFL season. It's going to be the Rams versus the Bills. Those are the odds on, if you pull up the Vegas, those are the odds on favorite to be in the Super Bowl in Arizona. I am telling you guys, I have seen this movie before. Not work. Tell you it's going to work. There's going to be somebody that's going to just come up and you ain't going to even see them coming. And I hate to say it. In the NFC, it's going to be them damn Saints or the Eagles. In the AFC, I think it's just going to be one of the teams that can just come up. And I think it's going to just take them time. I'm really afraid of the damn Broncos because their defense was number 3 without a quarterback. That's kind of impossible these days for your defense to be the 3rd best defense without a quarterback. Now, you give them a quarterback, Russell Wilson. We know what Russell Wilson do when he got a good defense. Do we not?
Yeah, he's great.
Give Russell Wilson a good defense, Russell Wilson will win. We know that.
But you want to know why?
We're not talking about him, though.
But you know why Denver is the number 3? And Dev, I want you to jump in on this. You know why Denver was the number 3 defense? They had 2 running backs that almost had 1,000 yards. That means they're controlling the clock.
So keeping the defense fresh. Yeah.
And that's what And we go back and look at back in the day when we looked at the Baltimore Ravens. Y'all remember in y'all area, Baltimore ripped it up defensively. Mm-hmm. We go back to when the Chicago Bears. We go back to some of them Pittsburgh Steelers defenses in the 2000s. They control the time of possession with the running game. And that's what Denver's going to do because this kid, Devontae Williams. And they still got that guy is the real deal. Out of North Carolina, he's the real deal. Real deal. I believe that all Russell Wilson has to do is come and manage the clock. They got pass rushers on both sides with Randy Gregory and Chubb. Chubb is a guy that nobody talks about, Dev.
Yeah, man. He's a beast. He got to stay healthy. That's the key with him. If he's healthy, he makes that defense great. But when nobody's talking about, I know I'm a big scheme guy, and I really think Nathaniel Hackett has one of the best 3 or 4 schemes in the league. It's not Matt LaFleur that was running that scheme in Green Bay. We don't see that. It's Nathaniel Hackett, the head coach. And what I love about him is he didn't come and say, Russell Wilson, we're going to do it my way. He said, we're going to marry this system to you. And it's going to be your system. And I'm going to make some changes here and there, but 90% of this is going to be what you want to do. When you hear dudes say that, it's saying, I know my quarterback is going to be the reason why I succeed or I don't succeed. So let me figure out a way to make it easy for him. He didn't come in and say, oh, it's my way or the highway. He said, you know what? We're gonna work this thing together. And I wrote a piece about that about 2 months ago when they first got together. The first practice they had during mini camp. He walked up to Russell and he said, I know in Seattle, things were choppy at times with coordinators in and out of the door, and you saying things like, once I get comfortable with a guy, here come a new guy. He said that won't happen here because he said it's your system. We're just gonna call the plays. It's your system. When you hear dudes say that, and now somebody got mad because I said Russell Wilson's not a Hall of Famer yet. He's not. I think he's still got some work to do. I think he's got to win a Super Bowl in Denver and be the reason they won it. The defense was the reason in Seattle.
Can I address that, Tony? Can I get that?
Please address that one.
Because I seen that and I was gonna call you. I was gonna call you about that, but let's talk about it now since we're here.
Yes, indeed.
Why is it that Russell Wilson has to go win another Super Bowl to be considered a Hall of Famer when he has one of the highest percentages with touchdown and interceptions in NFL history? He's a guy that has not only has he done it with his arm, but he done it with his legs. This is a guy that ain't even 6 foot tall. This is a guy that has one of the best winning percentages with all quarterbacks in the league, including with Aaron Rodgers over the course of the span that he's been in the league. And he hasn't always been on great Seattle teams. So if you look at some of the guys that's already in the Hall of Fame, and we still know Russell Wilson got at least about 5 years left in him. That about true, about 5 years maybe at the elite level that he's playing at. He's got to be a Hall of Famer. Second of all, we only have one Hall of Fame Black African-American in Canton right now. And I think that's ridiculous because I think Randall Cunningham should be a Hall of Famer at the very least. Russell Wilson with a Super Bowl win. How many other quarterbacks in the league can say they even have a Super Bowl win? And how many other quarterbacks can say that they have a playoff record like Russell Wilson? I believe he has 9 playoff wins. I think he's like 9-6 if I'm not mistaken.
He's 9-6.
So how is that not Hall of Fame numbers when we got guys in the Hall of Fame that got losing records in the playoffs? And he has more touchdown passes than he's already a top 40 in touchdowns in NFL history. Those are Hall of Fame numbers if you ask me.
They are numbers, but the committee changes the way they look at things from different eras. And in this era, the thing that they're going to say is look at his 2 NFC Championship games and his 2 Super Bowls, and he wasn't good in any game. He wasn't good in any of them games.
Was Ben Roethlisberger good in his first Super Bowl?
No, but he was great in the second one.
True, he was.
The drive to win it was that final drive was all he had to do.
He made one of the best pressure throws I've ever seen in that NFC Championship game in the overtime when they came back.
He threw 5 interceptions in that game. 5. Yeah, and the Packers bailed him out by doing dumb stuff the whole game. He threw 5 picks. And then you go back to the NFC Championship game against the Niners the year before, he threw 3 picks.
Right.
You go to the Super Bowl, He threw 2 in that game. The one on the end, not his fault on the play call. But he also go back and look when they had a 24-14 lead. He missed 7 straight throws that he should have made that allowed the Patriots to hang around. Not saying that that's all, but when you look at the biggest moments, those 4 games, they're gonna look at that.
Right.
And they're gonna look at the Super Bowl win. They're gonna go, you had a kickoff return, Malcolm Smith ran a pick back, and he was the MVP. It wasn't you. That stuff right there going to weigh on the committee. Not saying he shouldn't get in. I'm just saying the committee's going to take all that into account. And they're going to say, as great as your numbers are, you had a generational defense the first 5 or 6 years of your career. It allowed them numbers to look better than they probably would because the defense gave you so many opportunities, so many shorter fields. It blessed you. It blessed them.
So he had once again, this is the argument I had with Tony about Emmitt Smith. So he has to apologize for being in the
system. He doesn't. He does no, but see, that's the way that committee thinks. That committee is a little strange how they do stuff. They do weird stuff in there, man. Some of the things they be saying that they look at, I'm like, you look at what? That's why I said, to me, the way they do things, I don't see him being a Hall of Famer right now. Do I think he should be one? Yeah. But right now, I think he needs to do something in Denver to really get there, to say he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, maybe even be a second ballot because of how they do things.
Right now, if the NFL stopped play right now, name my Hall of Fame quarterbacks in the league right now.
Oh,
Brady Rodgers. Brady and Rodgers.
Brady Rodgers. I'm going Russell Wilson. I'm going Russell Wilson now.
So I go Wilson.
I go Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's got an MVP, and he took the Falcons to the Super Bowl with a really average defense.
And I want to go back real quick because Dev had made a comment on his post as well. He said that Russell Wilson has not had an MVP, but neither did Drew Brees.
Matt Ryan.
But Drew Brees got a Super Bowl MVP.
Right. He got a Super Bowl MVP, but he does not have a regular season MVP.
He did get votes. He did get votes. Wilson's never had an MVP vote, not one.
That's true. But let's look at Drew Brees' 4 seasons in San Diego. They wasn't if it was so great, he wouldn't have been in New Orleans.
But he didn't have a generational defense either that was covering up a lot of his issues like Russell Wilson had. That defense had Hall of Famers Bobby Wagner and Richard Sherman are Hall of Famers. We already know that. Right. Then you had guys like Michael Bennett, who won't be a Hall of Famer, but he was a damn good pass rusher and
Cliff Avrils,
Bruce Irvin, KJ Wright,
Earl Thomas,
Earl Thomas, Brandon Browner, and Cam Chancellor. That is going to be what they're going to use that argument against Russell Wilson to do their best to keep him out, unless he does something in Denver and he goes to Denver and tears it up. He still should get in at some point, but they're going to make it difficult for him.
We got 2 Hall of Famers right now. Brady,
2, maybe 3. Ryan, I think Matt Ryan did enough in Atlanta where they'll give him the nod. I do. The MVP, the Falcons getting to the Super Bowl, even though they blew the lead, they ain't gonna put that on him. They put that on Kyle Shanahan for throwing the football in that situation. They choked it away. But Kyle Shanahan played a huge role in that choke away too. Huge role.
I just think about when Russell Wilson, after those guys left, look at his numbers after the departure of the stance. Even the last piece when they lost Earl Thomas, they still had Bobby Wagner. He was the last piece that was still standing off that defense. Look at his numbers. He had 30 touchdowns, only 9 interceptions. So and we talking about him going through transitional periods where his offensive line was completely depleted. They need to put that in consideration. Like they traded. Remember they got rid of the center for start with a U.
Tony Unger, Max Unger.
Max Unger. That was huge. That was a turning point in Russell Wilson's career to lose a guy that anchored that offensive line for so many years, and you go get Jimmy Graham that did not pan out for him. Jimmy Graham has not been the same tight end since he left New Orleans. So you go get him a guy that they didn't even use. You know what I'm saying? Over somebody they did use.
Jimmy Graham been the same since Cam Chancellor hit him in that playoff game. He's been right since then, bro.
He's been right. So you guys give me, as we getting close to the end, give me a long shot for MVP that nobody's talking about. Jody.
Wow, that I mean, I told you I think that Mahomes is gonna win it, but if I'm gonna go with my dark horse at MVP, y'all might not like this, but I like Jonathan Taylor being the MVP and being the first running back MVP in a long time. Other than a quarterback, I think that I think he could have won MVP last season. The way that he carried
him. He was great. He was great.
If Jonathan Taylor they could have won that game and went to the playoffs, I believe that he would have got the nod over Aaron Rodgers because they really didn't want to give Aaron Rodgers back-to-back MVPs. So let's go ahead and take Aaron Rodgers out of the equation. I don't think he gets the MVP this year because I don't think they're going to give him 3 unless he just goes and throws 50 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He's going to have to. He's going to have to do that. And that's
Brett Favre did that, didn't he?
What?
3? He got 3 in a row.
Yeah, but I don't think this climate they're going to give Aaron Rodgers that, and I don't think he's going to get that. So I like Jonathan Taylor being a long shot at winning the MVP this season.
Who's your dark horse, Dev?
Derek Carr.
Ooh.
Derek Carr. Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller. I mean, he got the weapons, and with Josh McDaniels dialing it up, you know it's going to be a lot of things in his favor. If he doesn't make the mistakes throwing the ball to the other team, which he's really pretty good at, Derek Carr, and if they win 10 or 11 games, which I think they can, depending on how the division shakes out, they're 9 to 11 win team, I think. So I think Derek Carr is a real sleeper to take home an MVP trophy.
I want to go a little bit against you, and I'm not disrespecting your pick. I think I like you thinking outside the box because that's what you do. You break this stuff down. Derek Carr is not big on touchdown passes. The most touchdown passes he had in one season was 23. He would need to have 40 plus to beat it.
But has he ever played with a number 1 receiver?
Not at this
like
caliber.
Devontae.
No, I don't think. No,
his number 1 target has been a tight end. Now that tight end becomes the number 2 target, and now that tight end is already uncoverable. So, then you got a Hunter Renfrow. That's tough to stop. I hear what you're saying though. He hasn't had a lot of touchdowns. He has.
My dark horse is who you just mentioned, is Russell Wilson. Mm-hmm. That's my dark horse. And I think that because of what Dev was saying, all the other stuff that's going on, I think this team is going to mirror what Seattle was doing. And I think if they winning, they got to give Russell the credit because they weren't winning the year before him.
True.
They haven't been to the Super Bowl. They ain't been in the playoffs since they won the Super Bowl.
Well, the thing that's going to tell us a lot about them is they've had a little success against the Chargers and the Raiders. They got to beat the Chiefs once or twice. If they beat the Chiefs, then we know there's something. They haven't beaten them since Mahomes been a starter. They're 0-8, and it hasn't been like they haven't had games where they could have won. They haven't beat Mahomes yet. They're 0-8 against him.
Damn.
Yeah, and it hasn't been like the Chiefs have blown them out. The defense has kept them in the game. It's the quarterback play has killed the Broncos. They can't make a play. They just cannot make a play.
I think because to beat Kansas City, you have to be able to run man coverage. You can't run a lot of zones against Mahomes.
No,
but I think with Patrick Surtain II, that gives them the ability to run man. And then they got Justin Simon out there. Those are 2 guys that give them a reputable secondary. Hopefully they can run a lot of man. But once again, I think Mahomes is going to be even better this year than he's ever been because now he has used all his weapons. He has used everything at his disposal. And I think now that you got a quarterback that doesn't rely on just throwing it in and out to one guy, and you got to worry about Juju Schuster, you got to worry about Kelsey, you got to worry about what's the one guy they got
Scantler.
You got to worry about
Sky Moore.
You got everybody.
We haven't even talked about the guy that came from Clemson, not even Justin Ross from Clemson, Cornell Powell. He had 1,000 yards that year that Justin Ross was hurt. And he's like the 6th receiver, and they're loving him.
Right.
These are guys that are going to get one-on-one when they cover the game because you're so worried about taking away Kelsey and making sure Juju and them other guys don't beat you. Mahomes is going to have a field day. I just think all the negativity that they have spewed his way, it's going to fuel this guy. Now, if he can keep his wife and his brother sitting down somewhere, to be all right. But that's for another day. But I mean, the guy's special, man. Mahomes is, And I don't know how people dislike him so much. The guy just play football. He don't get in no trouble. He just play football and go home, man. It's one of the
He's
guys,
a winner. Man. But what I want people to understand, why do we hate? Okay, I understand that Juju Smith-Schuster was dancing on TikTok and he went viral for dancing. But let's look at a little bit of his numbers. He has 100 catches twice. Mm-hmm. In the last 4 to 5 years, he has 100 catches twice. He was injured another season. So why are we acting like this guy can't play football? And when he was with a elite wide receiver in Antonio Brown, he had 1,500 yards receiving. So now he's going to go with another elite tight end that's going to get him more room to operate. He's not that old. That's the key piece. And everybody keep thinking like, oh, they lost Hill. Juju Smith-Schuster, he dancing on TikTok. Quit letting him dance on TikTok say that he can't play football anymore.
Well, you know why you want to know why they say you're supposed to hate him? Because Stephen A. Smith brought it up. So people think that what he says is gospel. He's a Steelers fan. Well, Giants, Steelers, I don't know. He like whoever. He's got that. He's all over the place with his picks. But he goes, Juju Smith, ever since you started dancing on TikTok, we ain't been winning. So, so as soon as he said that, everybody turned. I'm like, Juju's a damn good football player. Physical, runs every route, can run, got great hands, and he brings his hard hat. So he's going to do him and Kelsey are going to control the middle of the field. Scantling and Sky Moore are going to take the top off. And then you got all them running backs coming at you too. Plus they got a great O-line. Their defensive line is upgraded. And they got a great coach and a great defensive guy in Spagnuolo and a great offensive guy in Bieniemy. They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine.
So folks, you've heard us. We've been in here covering the AFC. Next week, we're going to cover the NFC. And then the next week after that, it's time to get it on. But what I am going to warn Jody and I'm going to warn Dev about, I have seen this movie before. When everybody's going to get all hyped on the opening night, and all you're going to hear about is, oh, Josh Allen, oh my God, Matt Stafford. You're going to hear them so much and they're going to suck them off so much. You're going to think it's only 2 teams in the NFL. But what I am telling you, folks, these guys are professionals for a reason. They are hungry. There's some team right now who won't start off well, and they're going to get better as the season goes, and they're going to probably be a wild card. And they're going to have to go probably play a team that they lost twice against, which that's a bad sign. When you beat a team twice, you don't want to play them in the playoff. I don't care where you play them. And that's going to happen on either both sides of the bracket. I am telling you, folks, watch out. Y'all know my Super Bowl pick. My picks are the Cardinals and the Chargers. You won't get nobody making that pick.
Tony wild. Tony crazy. Tony.
I can't not go with the home team this year. Oh, see, now they call mine. No. Now you talking about Kyler Murray and Herbert.
Oh, man.
Tony.
Those are underdog picks.
You picking 2 quarterbacks that have yet to have a playoff win. That's all I'm saying.
Hey,
Tony riding that whole home team playing the Super Bowl thing out, man. He gonna ride it out to the top,
you know what? You know what? Jody just made a point. This time last year, the 2 quarterbacks who went to the Super Bowl, they had this many playoff wins between them.
True.
So, can that happen again?
True.
Yeah, because it's the NFL. If you would have sat here and said, hey, it's going to be the Rams and the Bengals, people would have been like, okay, we can take the Rams because, the All-Star team. But the Bengals, they'd have been like, for the playoff games. Hey, it's the NFL, it stands for not for long. And Rams, I love you to death, but y'all asses is going down. And don't beware of these peoples, dog. And Deb, this is when you need to leave the show because you're a Redskin fan. And so you don't have no talking. You can't say nothing. Because y'all got dollars. Hey, listen, man. The Big Mac cost, I had to pay more for a Big Mac than to go to a Redskin game. They giving y'all tickets away for $1. I can't believe
$1. The preseason ticket was $1, man. $1 plus the the processing fee costs more than the ticket, bro. That's bad, man.
I'm gonna put it to you like this, and y'all can say I'm a homer, and I've been saying this coming from the Midwest, and I'm talking about my Brown. This is our best opportunity, and everybody keep talking about how Deshaun Watson. We're 7-1 the last 8 games against the Bengals. We're 7-1 the last 8 games against the Bengals. We swept the Bengals last season. We swept the Bengals. Look, it doesn't matter because Jacoby Brissett is a guy that's been in systems with the New England Patriots where he was undefeated. He goes to Indianapolis where he did not have a lot of talent. Let's be real. He didn't have the running back like he got Jonathan Taylor. And then he goes to Miami. He doesn't even really get an opportunity to play. Miami was all over the place. So they were tanking games. So I'm going to tell you like this. Everybody picking everybody. Deshaun Watson's going to be a hungry quarterback when he comes back. And Cleveland has this mentality, watching their camp and watching them really closely. It's that mentality of us against the world. And sometimes adversity is going to tear you apart or they're going to pull you together. And right now, the Browns have a very favorable schedule the first 7 or 8 games. The Jets, not saying that any game is easy, but they got the Jets. They got Pittsburgh, where you don't know what the quarterback situation is going to be. They had Carolina. Hopefully we can beat them. That's a road game. We got some favorable games early on that we have to make. We have to win. And watch what I tell you about the Browns. Regardless who's playing quarterback, watch out for the Browns.
7-4 and 8-3 when he comes back. I give it to you, Jody, Dev. I know you're not going to bring up the Washington football team because I already know how.
No, you know me. I'm very optimistic in my own mind, man. I don't make predictions on them. I just let them play the season out. There's no reason to. I will say this though. I'm not worried about the talent. I don't trust the coordinators, and that's the problem. The talent is there. The pieces are there to be successful. You know. So,
when is the last time Rivera had a winning season? That's what I want to know.
It's been a long time. He got 3. He got 3 of them.
Obama was president the last time he had a winning season.
It was 2015 when they went 15-1, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think they may have won. Yeah.
They had one in 2017. They lost in the first round to the Saints. They did.
Yeah, Obama was still president. He was going.
Yep. So
been that long.
I don't know, man. Obama was going out of office the next week because that's when Trump took office. You're right. Obama was finishing up his last few days in the White House. Yeah, he just doesn't. He's good at putting the culture in place. I give him that. He's good at changing culture. But as far as Brian Mitchell and guys made a good point when he got the job. They said you're bringing Carolina North like people ever feared them. It's a good point. Mitchell said you can't bring everything from a place that nobody. He said this ain't the Patriots you bring in. You know, this ain't Foxborough you bring guys from where they win all the time. This is Carolina where they've had a lot of mediocre seasons outside of Cam Newton putting him on his back and saying we're going to win. You know what I'm saying? Cam Newton carried him. Cam Newton, he built his career on the back of Cam Newton. Straight up, he did. So for me, I'm just not a fan of the things that they do offensively or defensively. I don't like it. I think it's very reactive, and I think it's not proactive, and it doesn't make the other team – it never puts the other team on their heels. It allows the other team to read and react too much, and that's not how you play football. You know, and like I said, you look at the passing game, the reads are backwards. If I'm a fan and I'm sitting in the stands and I can see that the reads are backwards, how come the coordinator don't see that? Backwards read. So it makes it easier for the defense to play it because instead of your top guy being the first guy, he's the third guy on a lot of them reads. So now the defense is really playing, you know what I mean? I'm not even going I could do a whole session on what that offense should be doing, man.
We're going to get in them next week. But
we'll get into them next week.
You see, I'm a Cowboy fan. Jody's a Browns fan. And unfortunately, Dev, he has to struggle. He live in D.C. and he got to struggle with the daggone Washington football team.
Thank God I like Alabama because I wouldn't have nothing in football. I would have a thing. I would have nothing.
But before we leave, please, guys, check out that Big Ten game this week. We got a good schedule. Games are on all days this Saturday. College football kicks off this Saturday. One game is in Dublin, Ohio. No, Dublin, Ireland.
Yeah.
Northwestern
Nebraska. Yep.
And I think Florida A&M plays this week, a HBCU team. Check out the full schedule. It's all day on Saturday. Last Saturday was your last Saturday off, so tell your wife, it's over now. It really, really starts now. So
yeah. Can I say something, Tony?
Yes, sir. Well, let's get some parting shots here.
Also, Tony just mentioned HBCU football. Y'all support that, man. Dion was on First Take yesterday. On Get Up with Sports Center, Get Up, whatever, with Sage Steele and Nick Saban, and they were talking about the NIL situation. And Saban was saying the collectives need to be, they need to get some hard guidelines so that people aren't just giving people deals to come to school. And Dion said, "What is a collective? I don't even know what a collective is. We don't even have that here, so we don't know what that is. So we need, people to support the HBCU football because Deion Sanders is he's doing some things for the whole entire HBCU community. And Tony was just speaking on Florida A&M playing this weekend. They play this weekend, but the following weekend, Sunday, September the 4th, the last weekend before the NFL takes over, check out Deion Sanders and the Jackson State Tigers against FAMU in the Orange Blossom Classic at 4 p.m. on ESPN. When have you ever seen an HBCU game on ESPN with the two best teams in the SWAC? The winner of that game is probably going to the Celebration Bowl, more than likely. It was 7-6 last year. If you didn't get, if you've never seen the video before Deion and them took the field, the It's Time video where he talked to them about it's time, like you've waited this whole life, it's time, and he gave them like this speech that made them want to run through a wall, and they went out and won the game 7-6, and it just showed how connected he was with the players. Because at times I wondered, would his persona connect with the player, or would it be more so because he's Deion? You know what I'm saying? But it's more to it than that. The guy just doing some unbelievable stuff. So let's support the HBCUs of the world. Let's not forget that we play football too. You know what I'm saying? We play football too, not just the Power Fives and all the big boys. The schools we come up on play football as well. So let's not forget that.
Yeah, go ahead, Jody. Parting shots, buddy.
All right. I want to piggyback a little bit off what Dev said. I'm a Central State grad, HBCU right here in Ohio.
Yes, sir.
I'm a grad of 2014. We need to bring our program back because we were one of the elite programs in the 90s. Nobody wanted to see us. We had pro players like Vince Buck, Hugh Douglas, Eric Williams. We had some guys that can play. Jackson State, I want to get a shout out to my young guy, Dallas Daniels, man. He's right here from Dayton, Ohio, man. I'm real good friends with his dad. Great kid out of Trotwood Madison High School here in Dayton, Ohio. But my parting shots is about college football and expanding the playoffs to perhaps 8 games, 8 teams to really get a true champion. If we're going to stockpile all these conferences and we're going to have a Big Ten with doggone down there 20 teams and 24 teams when it's all said and done, the same with the SEC, we have to have an opportunity for everybody to get a chance because everybody's not going to be able to play everybody because they're shrinking the non-conference schedule to 3 games because the teams are getting so big. We're only going to have 3 games instead of 4. So I'm really thinking that if we're going to do this, let's do it right and let's expand the playoffs to 8 teams.
Let's go.
My parting shot is we've spoken on the NFL. I like to see the NFL do a better job of leadership of getting African Americans in position to own teams and own franchises. And with my conversation that you saw me, Jody, that I was probably having with the commissioner that day when we were in the room with over 150 influential people, whether it's Hall of Famers or pros and commissioner of the league, and everyone was there. My conversation to him was Black ownership and expansion, and you can do both. And I think the NFL should become leaders. Like, guys, next year we're gonna probably get an Airbnb, go out there and do our show there, go to the Super Bowl, maybe not go to the game, but they have now where they have conferences now where people come in, businesses come in, and try to get the ex-NFL players involved, and that's great. But you need to find a way to get ownership. Deion is taking the lead in college. Someone needs to take the lead in pro. Because, see, what we're doing, when you see black ownership, now that changes the game when you see guys the way they prepare for life after football. Maybe they can be gyms. Maybe they can be this and that. Right now, we don't see that. And we have too much of a percentage in this game that for us not to own. And we need to get away from all this crazy stuff and start thinking about ownership. That is the key in a league right here that's going to eventually expand to London and expand to Mexico City, where each team is going to probably be bringing in profits of $1 billion a piece. We need to be involved in that. And the NFL, you need to do better. And anytime I get a chance, I am going to always promote that. So that's my part in Shot for the Week, folks. We want to see you next Thursday.
Monday.
Get ready. Well, maybe Monday. We'll talk to you about it. We want to go Monday, Thursday now because college kicked off. We're going to review what happened in college this week because we need to do that. Monday night, 7:30. We're going to be Thursday night, 7:30. We're going to have Cody coming on, talking to you about fantasy. We're going to have Dave coming on, getting us ready for the NFC. We're going to talk about the NFC quarterbacks. We're going to kind of give you a little bit of predictions. And then I'm just going to get you ready for the inevitable. Don't fill out them brackets and don't put no goddamn on Rams versus Bills. Because I will tell you right now, that will not be the game in Arizona. I'll put my life on it. That won't be the game in Arizona. So, guys, we get ready. And then we're also going to talk about this team and how they still in the check because they still trying to fool people. Jerry was on damn show today lying.
I saw flying around the helicopter, man.
Stephen A. Smith and they're lying about all this other stuff. I think what though, Jerry Jones is really good at really getting the hype because Jerry Jones give you the church moment. After he talked, man, I felt like I was in a service. Like
he's a billionaire because he's an A1 marketer, man. He's an A1 marketer. No one can market like Jerry Jones. He markets, man. He's the best. He A1 at that, man. He is good. Nope, nobody like him. He his own. It's him and it's everybody else, bro.
He had me feeling good until I get to y'all text, and y'all always dogging Dallas. So you know, guys, we have an text. None of these guys ever give no credit to Dallas. So if Dallas wins, they're going to shut that damn text down because I'm going to run their ass off of it.
I'm not going to let you lead with that, Tony. I've said that the Dallas Cowboys the last 8 seasons has been probably the best drafting team in football.
How many Super Bowls?
No, I mean,
it doesn't.
I'm just saying, as far as Pro Bowlers, I don't know a team that drafted more Pro Bowlers than them.
Yeah, they do a great job of drafting. They do. They have gotten ever since they didn't pick Johnny Manziel, they've gotten better. Ever since they left Manziel alone, they've gotten better.
Pro Bowl don't equal Super Bowl. So I don't give a shit about playing in the Pro Bowl where everybody jumping off tables and having fun and running around with chicks. That ain't no Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl or bust when you earth $8 billion. So that's how I look at with the Cowboys. Now, I'm going to always sport my blue because, you know, it feels good when you got a winner on. You know what I mean? And this ain't no rating. This is who they are. So they be on there clowning my boys and everything else. So it's all good. We had Chuck Bernard come on tonight. We had Wayne the Voice. Thank you, guys. Now that the season getting ramped up, dog, it's on now. It's on, baby, because we're gonna see who really won it this year, man. The league is more even. I think there's only 2 really bad teams, I think, and I think the Bears is one. Probably the Texans.
Well, real quick, Tony. I wrote a piece that's coming out tomorrow. Mike Martz, he went off on the Bears today. He said he looks at their offense and they resemble the 0-16 Lions. He said Justin Fields is going to die back there. He said he went off. Y'all gonna read it tomorrow. I wrote it. I said he went in. He was the Bears coordinator when they lost the NFC Championship game to the Packers that year, and the Packers won the Super Bowl. And he said he's seen great players like Justin Fields come out of college. He said the problem with Justin Fields right now is last year when he came, Matt Nagy didn't want to develop him. He wanted to kind of just throw him out there. When he threw him out there against the Bears, against the Browns, he got sacked 9 times, I believe. He said, with Fields, you got to understand that a guy that is still learning the position needs to have a solid offensive line and weapons around him so he can learn the position. Then if you don't bring back that kind of talent, he's so much better now that he can make the guys better because he's learned the position. Right now, he said he's a one-read guy when the reading that he runs, and he said he doesn't understand what he's seeing in front of him right away. So he said with that and then the talent that he said the little bit of talent they have, he said, that guy gonna die back there. It's coming out tomorrow, man. You know, Mike Martz is crazy. He said anything. Y'all know that. He's crazy. So he was just saying.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Man. Hall of Fame.
Martz is crazy, man. He's crazy. You know, but he said the guy's gonna die back there. He said the Bears are awful. He said they're horrendous.
Hey,
from top to bottom, they're bad. That's what he said.
Want to thank Jody and want to thank Dad for coming on. You know we're going to get this thing, guys. Y'all need to tune in because you ain't going to get no better than this listening to them clowns everywhere else. I mean, here we can go at and run numbers and stats and dates and times and places better than everybody else who's making millions of dollars. Somebody going to pick us up, and when they do, they're going to say, man, I know those guys. We banging that thing out because, see, these guys are so good, I don't even have to dig back and tell you who the Super Bowl MVP was in 70 and give you the run. I don't need to do it no more. I don't need to waste my brain no more. I got these two dudes here. So I just
right.
To the next episode. But if you really want to challenge us, I tell you what, we'll put on a TD Report Cash App. And let's go from there if y'all really think y'all can get us. Because I'll put us up against anyone out there, folks.
That's right.
That's real talk. I'll be live next week at Maryland Live, Sport and Social. I'll be live next week when the college football hit on Thursday too. So I'll be live next week. These guys be back on. It'll be Monday and Thursday. It's football season, folks. Good luck. Hey, to all the people y'all coaching, to the people red shirt, keep your heads up, red shirt freshmen. Keep pounding. Keep doing it. It's your first time that people told you weren't good enough, so keep busting your ass. You'll be just fine. Hey, never quit. This game is about development. That's what the game is about.
Hey, right, Tony, Dev, just like Tony said, man, we ain't got no computer in front of us. It's right here.
Never.
Right here. And go back and go. Hey, I challenge anybody go check DevStat or Monitor. Tony, go ahead, go check it and tell me we're right or wrong.
Go check it, baby.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
All good, brother.
Yep. All right,
see you guys, man. Love you.
Appreciate you.
See y'all.
All right, man.